Ahem, testing 1 2 1 2. Hello, what is up, guys? It's me, Eddie, and I am back with another episode of Katawa Shoujo. I think we're nearing the end of the Amy route, or not Amy, Lily route. Yeah, Amy. We finished that a while ago. So yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty excited for this. As I said, I think this is my favorite route. Let me do a very rapid sound check, and then we'll get going. How does that sound? Okay, everything looks solid. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Oh yeah. Right, it's because we're on the neutral route, dummy. The loud clatter of books falling into the return slot abruptly breaks the grip of silence over the school library. It's become a habit for me to come to the library at least once a week. Not only does the reading itself keep me busy, but discussing books with Hanako and Lily also does. Obviously startled, Yuko suddenly twists towards the direction of the noise. I'd have thought her used to the people dropping books by now, since she does work here. Oh, hello Hisao, back again? It takes me a moment to respond, my mind still distracted by the familiar melody of Lily's humming that's hardly left my ears in the several days that it's been since I fell asleep to it. Oh yeah, just borrowing some books I borrowed. Returning some books I borrowed. She casts her eyes downward, presumably to the bin the books dropped into. You're a very heavy reader, aren't you? It's become a bit of a routine by now. Passes the time, at least. I wish I had free time to pass. Aw, poor Yuko. From the small talk to depression in less than 5 seconds, I think that's a new record for her. She seems a bit down in general today, even compared to normal. Considering she has to work 2 jobs just to support herself, I can see how it would take a toll on her lifestyle. Come to think of it, the pay for her job here can't be all that bad. The idea of staff in such a prestigious private school going hungry strikes me as counterintuitive. Working 2 jobs must take a lot of time. I probably never manage it. You're lucky being a student. Do you think you'll be able to go to university? If she's asking me, then. I guess that's the expected result of having this kind of education. Private schools like this don't exactly come cheap. I guess. I have the money, I think. I've got plans which will require going to one, and my grades are good enough. It's more a matter of how I'll pay to do so. University costs so much that I'm having to work 2 jobs to afford to enter it. Paying for daily expenses too makes it a lot harder. If you're reading this much, though, that means you're doing well in school. Right? Oh boy. I used to read a lot as a kid. Nah. Interesting logical jump. Not an altogether wrong one, though. I suppose so. I didn't find any exams hard, aside from maybe 1 or 2. Do you mind if I ask you what studies you're pursuing in university? Yuko appears to genuinely brighten at the question. Anthropology. Whoa! That's awesome. To be specific, I'm specializing in the history of classical era Athenian civilization and democracy. Whoa! Okay, that's really cool. Is it just me, or is the in-game volume a little too quiet for you guys? There's a bit of a problem with the sound mixing in this game, I'm gonna be honest with you here. She seems to know her stuff. Such enthusiasm is to be admired, and it's nice to see her genuinely excited about something. I guess even someone like Yuko can be happy if she has a visible road ahead of her. Oh boy. I wish I had a visible road ahead of me. Instead of here I am banking it all on, competitions and stuff. That's good to hear. Both of us jump at the sudden interruption coming from my pocket. That low-key kinda jump-scared me, too. Apologizing profusely and quickly shuffling into the hallway as I fumble with the cover of my mobile phone, I glance at the screen. Weird, it's a mobile number I don't recognize. Considering I could count the number of people with my number on one hand, I briefly wonder whether it's some telemarketer that lucked out. Hello? Hisao Nakai speaking. Geez, pick up faster get next time. Anyways, guess who? Geez, pick up faster next time. It only takes me a second to recognize a distinctly deep, brusque voice. What? Deep? Hey, Misha. Didn't expect you to call me. What? Huh? You think I actually sound like her? Oh. I was wondering who that was. I thought it was Kenji at first, but I was like, wait, Kenji? No, he doesn't have a voice. He doesn't have a deep voice. Not at all, Akira. I don't remember giving my number, though, so I thought I'd mess with you. Oh. Oh, that? I got Lily to give it to me. Not too hard. Hold on. Let me turn my own volume down. I think I'm a little too loud. Oh, never mind. Now it's too quiet. Yeah. It's like trying to control the volume on this thing. Oh, that? I got Lily to give it to me. Not hard. She positively burns with pride at the statement. I will bring the in-game volume back down for you. She's trying to get me caught up in her pace. I know it. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that the two would share my number, though, given how close they are. So, what's up? You free right now? I guess? Why? Could you meet me at the park in town? I just want to talk to you about some stuff. Is that an invitation to a date? Are you cheating on our partners? What? Of course not. She sounds suddenly crestfallen, her previous teasing nature having instantaneously left. It seems strange for her. Anyway, I don't see why not. When do you want to meet? Kind of now-ish. Wait, right now, but it's... The dead sound suddenly coming from her phone announces the fact that she's unceremoniously hung up. For long seconds, I just stand there staring at the call-ended message on the screen while replaying the conversation in my head. What the hell, Akira? Throwing a glance up and down the street, I cross the road and step into the park. I learned to pace myself on such walks, mostly because Lily's slower speed during our forays into the town means I have to consciously slow myself down. That aside, I hope Akira didn't expect me to be immediately prompt. Whoa! Badass! Whoa. Oh. Takes only a couple seconds to spot her waiting on a bench with a can of beer in her hand. The look she gives me as I walk up lacks any hint of acknowledgement or greeting. What's with that look? I needn't have come, you know. I knew you would. You're that kind of person, after all. I lower my brow to her remark as she disposes of the can, emptied by the time I arrived, and a metallic clatter rings out. Akira takes a seat on the old wooden bench, and I follow her lead. She takes another can of beer beside her and opens it before speaking, taking a large gulp. She seems to really like that stuff. I suppose I don't need to ask what this is about, or rather who it's about. This is a new expression for you. I heard that Lily that you asked about our family. They share more than phone numbers, that's for sure. Probably be very worried right now if it weren't for the total lack of malice in her voice. Rather, her tone sounds almost wistful. Idle curiosity, mostly. I have to admit, I'd never have guessed you two were half Scottish. She gives a wry chuckle of amusement. Now that's a face I recognize. I've heard of that before, trust me. A smile falls from her face, her eyes looking ahead distantly. Aside from the occasional elderly couple as they slowly walk the meandering paths in the aging car, it's pleasantly quiet. She didn't tell you everything, though, did she? It's pretty brief. Your parents live in Scotland, and she hasn't met them since she was 12, and she wants to meet them again. It's always surprised me how devoted she is to our parents for all the good they did us. The way she says it sounds almost derisive. She gives a small sigh as if to quickly brush the feelings away. Why do you think they left? He saw. Why do I think they left? From what Lily told me, it was because of work. I guess a pretty decently paying job was involved as well, given the way her parents seem to live. So Lily went to a private school, and that's why she carries herself with the airs and graces of the upper class. Airs and graces, I'm pretty sure they both are a member of the upper class. Yeah, since the business in Inverness boomed. Like, seriously, like old money gentry or something. Our father decided to move directly into the same city as its headquarters. That's just the conclusion I thought you'd come to, though. You're too good-natured. You don't think they left for their career? I'm sitting here bitching to you about it. What do you think? Yamako Academy. I've always felt that place was kind of creepy. Like it was an isolated hideaway for those proper society don't want to see nor hear. They probably just rue the fact that Lily wasn't old enough to be shoved there by the time they left. Oh.
Sorry, water.
Oh, shit.
A long silence follows her abrupt and very harsh criticism of her own parents and Yamaku.
Lily's blindness is hardly something that could be simply ignored for a high-class family attempting to keep up appearances, much less so when a lucrative offer is on the table. Eventually, Akira gives a derisive snort, her feelings coming to a head. Moving to secure our financial future with his new job posting. Even at the time, I hardly believed it. Not wanting to simply be an avenue for her venting, I tried to gently steer the conversation. So you stayed in Japan with Lily, then? Either I stayed with her, or she went to live with an ailing grandmother and grandfather. What about Shizune's family? If you're cousins, then... Our fathers hate each other. I'd have been more than happy to tell them to go screw themselves and live with them anyway, but Lily wouldn't have wanted that. I'd also have an offer for a job by then. How old are you, actually, now that I think about it? So we did our best to keep our parents' house in proper shape, and tried to continue our lives as if they'd never left. So you just lived by yourselves. Basically, Lily had school, and I had my job, so we weren't exactly languishing. With her schooling, her study, and having to do chores while I worked, though, I can't help feeling like I failed her. In the end, I tried to be there for her and screwed it up. Aw, that's not true. Expecting a 19-year-old to be a mother for a blind child, it's ridiculous. Yeah, all by yourself. Yeah, that's not something you could really do by yourself. So, Lily and Akira lived alone after their parents moved, with Lily largely taking care of herself. I guess that explains her apparent independence compared to many in Yamaku. I may have lived alone much of the time since my parents both worked, but that's just something else entirely. Sorry for making you listening to my moaning, he saw. I don't mind at all, but do you mind why you're telling me this? You were always curious. You always were curious. Context, I suppose. Life isn't a fairy tale, he saw. Some people have to learn that the hard way. She takes a long drink from the can in her hand, her face becoming more depressed than distant. I broke up with my boyfriend a few days ago. After I leave, we're not going to be able to see each other again. Oh, no. But that's just how life is. You can't just set your life up and expect it to stay that way forever. Sometimes stuff happens that you have to roll with, even if it means hurting yourself or others. She takes a long breath before looking up at the bright orange sky. Damn it. If I smoked, I could take a nice long drag about now and look kind of cool. Akira, this is why you're the best, though. I want to respond to help her in whichever way I can, but I feel utterly useless. This kind of situation is one I've never been in. I simply don't have the experience to say anything meaningful to comfort her. Akira looks over and evidently picks up on this, much to my embarrassment. I must look pretty pathetic right now, whining about this to someone I barely even know. Hardly, and I'm pretty much an expert on looking pathetic. She gives a chuckle, the act feeling like a personal victory for me. You're a good kid, he saw. When he said I approved you being with my sister, I wasn't joking or just being nice. She picks herself off the seat with a grunt, one that seems ill-fitting given her age. It throws the empty can into the bin after one last swig. 3. Oh, hello, second person. Welcome to the stream. It's unfortunate that it doesn't really count for much in this world. When I said I was leaving for Scotland, I was doing it because a good position opened up in our company's headquarters. The folks told me that we were at their place, though. They also gave me Lily's a summons to rejoin them in Inverness. Oh, shit! No way. Her evasiveness when asked about her future, that awkwardness that had steadily grown between us, that uncharacteristic outburst of anger, all of them suddenly fit into play. Oh, shit! The same family that she reminisced about after Hanako's birthday party, the same family that left her and Akira to themselves after taking a flight to greener pastures, and I feel stupid for never cornering Lily on what was bugging her. I never even concerned if something had happened during her trip to her family's home at Inverness. And now a sense of unease grows in my chest. If her family summoned her to join them in Scotland, all the way on the other side of the earth, has she accepted? Lily hasn't told me whether she plans to accept, and it seems she hasn't told you either. That's why I called you down here to talk, he saw. Context, huh? I sit back, my feelings of worry and frustration no doubt written all over my face. Lily's a strong person, he saw, but she's not infallible. I guess it's my job to worry about her, being her older sister, but I think you deserve to know. Shit. I understand. You okay? You sound depressed. No, I'm not. No, I'm just thinking. That's good. Thinking is good. Being rash won't get you anywhere. She looks at her watch, barely moving her wrist. I got to go. Will you be okay? I'll be fine, don't worry. I'll have to talk to Lily about it and get everything sorted out. She gives a smile, but it doesn't feel all that genuine or sincere. Really, both of us are dancing around the fact that Lily's on the precipice of the biggest decision of her life and is trying to take the entire burden on herself. Part of that burden is the matter of our relationship. By the time I look up, Akira's already walking off with her hand held up. For the first time in a long while, I finally had the answer to something. Have an answer to something. Perhaps not even that, but at least now I have the right question to ask. Will you leave or stay? Wow! You know, in retrospect, I kind of wish I'd ended here last stream. Dang. Hurry, Lily. I'm moving as fast as I can. I can barely make out Lily's voice over the deafening pounding of the rain. Even though I dislike pulling her around, the situation calls for it. I turn forward, my free hand over my head in a futile attempt to keep my hair dry. My vision seems to be in grayscale. This is really rotten weather for summer, and the last kind of climate I'd want for a date. A pity. I'd even checked the weather forecast beforehand, one of the very few times I've ever done so, only for it to say that that Sunday afternoon would be fine. Looking to Lily, her shoulders are by now completely drenched, with her right hand holding tightly to mine, and her left gripping her retracted cane. This horrid downpour came on just as we were between our destination and Yamako, so we decided to try rushing the rest of the distance rather than doubling back. Entirely unused to running this fast, Lily's using all her concentration just to avoid tripping over. Isao, do you know where we're going? Even she's reduced to shouting to try and be heard over the combined noise of the wind and the rain. The rest of my voice is completely drowned out by an even heavier burst of rain. The what? The Shanghai! Sorry, I gotta shout too over all this. How far is it? It shouldn't be far now. It doesn't take long before I call out to her once again. It looks like we're safe. It's just up ahead. I quickly pull up to a stop just in front of the familiar exterior, the lantern outside still giving off its reliable glow, and wait for Lily to catch her breath before going in. Ladies first. The tiny bell inside rings out when I hold the door open for her, a smile and polite nod being my reward before entering myself. As I step in behind her and wipe my feet, only a quick glance is necessary to notice a distinct lack of activity. The Shanghai doesn't seem to get much in the way of patronage, and today's no different. Only a couple tables are occupied. Summoned by the bells ringing, a most expected person comes to greet us. Welcome to the Shanghai. Yuko looks chipper today. Trying to predict her moods is pretty hard, but it's a nice change from the norm. Hello, Yuko. Hey. Good afternoon, you two. She takes a deep bow, somewhat taken aback as she rights herself and gets a better look at us. What happened to you? You both look... Her eyes drift towards the glass of the door behind us. Oh dear. We're inside now, at least. I think that's the most important thing. It's nice and cozy. You're lucky to be working inside today. It has been nice and quiet. I like days like this. Oh, wait. Sorry. Is there anything you'd like? French vanilla tea. Ooh, French vanilla tea, please. Ooh. I'll have the same. Oh, tasty. Right, coming right up. She quickly skitters off with a determined look on her face, trying very hard not to forget her orders. If nothing else, she's at least very dedicated. She's at least dedicated to her jobs. I wonder, do you serve, like, Chinese food here? I lead Lily to an empty seat before the two of us settle down. As usual, there's a large difference between my exhausted flopping down into my seat and Lily's dedicate sliding into hers. Her cane set beside her. Hey, come on, Hisao. You gotta be a gentleman. You must slide smooth. I don't know. I don't know. What the hell am I saying? For a while, I just idly watch the rain falling outside. The occasional person runs down the street trying to stay as dry as possible, hands often tightly gripping a rain-soaked umbrella. Lily just sits as quietly as I, her eyes closed as she intently listens to all that's happening. It's a comfortable, relaxing silence that exists between us, just the type that we'd so often shared together in the past months. For Lily, at least. I can't help replaying the words of her sister in my mind, at the times contrasting them to both our time spent together since I entered Yamaku, and to the way we've been since we started dating. No matter how much I try, I can't work Lily out. It's as if the harder I try to second-guess her emotions and her potential decision, the more difficult it becomes to reach a clear consensus. It makes me doubt whether I'd even really understood her. In the end, I'm going to have to ask, even though I very much want to avoid doing so. You seem very quiet today, Hisao. Really? You seem so enthusiastic about taking me out on a date. I assumed you had something specific you wanted to do. No, it's really... No, not really. I just wanted to spend some time with you. Is that so? Fine, there was one thing. A little grin finds its way onto Lily's face, knowing full well that she's bested me. It makes what I want to say all the more awkward. It was just... Akira and I were talking. Oh. What's with that tone? You two seem to get along well, don't you? I do think she's a pretty cool person to talk to. It'd be nice if any of the teachers were anything like her. Cool. For a moment, I try to place her tone of voice, my mouth curling into a smirk as I realize it. You're not jealous, are you? I'm not jealous. You are jealous. Oh, cute. Cute. After teasing me over such a thing on our first date, I don't feel too bad having a little laugh at our expense this time around. As we settle down, though, it's only a minor distraction from the real point of why I brought Lily here. Don't worry, it was just mostly everyday stuff. That said, there was something Akira mentioned that I wanted to talk to you about. When you want to see your family in Venice a while back, she said... Akira told you about my family summons, hasn't she? Oh no, Lily. Well, there goes the date mood. Seconds tick by while I try to read Lily's face. An odd mixture of feelings written on it. She seems annoyed, but also somewhat confused. Here. Awkward timing, Yuko, awkward timing. Yuko tentatively... Yuko tentatively slides her drinks onto the table. Her presence oddly small. As she walks back into the corner after a quick polite nod, I realize the air between me and Lily is thick and our expressions are both somewhat pensive. Even though she says I should lead my own life, she still interferes at the worst times. I don't think you should blame Akira here. She's just looking out for you. It's not like I can't understand her concern over this. Lily's irrevocation gives way to an awkward and largely unsuccessful attempt to mask her feelings. She really doesn't deal well with being cornered on personal topics. I know, but I just wanted some more time. I knew you'd have figured it out eventually, but... You're intentionally hiding this from me? For how long were you planning to do so? As I said, I simply wanted more time to think it through. I wanted to be sure of my decision before telling you. What did you decide to do in the end? I know what I wanted to say, but an awful feeling refuses to leave my gut. My family does dearly want me to return to them, and Akira will be going as well. I could still teach as a career, whether it be here or there. No! 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 What? What? After everything we've... What? Wait, so just like that? Oh no! Oh... No! No, 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 that is, no! No! My family does dearly want me to return to them, and Akira will be going as well. I guess... So you're going. How long have you known? I already know you were asked when you first went to Scotland about a month ago. Sometime. My frustration nearly boils over. The fact that she's done this affects me more than it should. For her to not only be leaving, but to actively have been hiding her own plans from me. And after seeming so long to be the one solid pillar of support and reliability I could depend on. It feels as if the foundation underneath me is suddenly shifting drastically, much faster than I could adapt to. Perhaps this isn't so much as frustration as sheer unease. Lily, I'm sorry, I just wanted to think this through completely. I wasn't trying to take advantage of you. Please, I know, Lily, I know. This is just really sudden. I guess this means once you go, we'll be breaking up. For one of the few times since I've seen her, she's genuinely lost for words. She doesn't look surprised, no doubt because of the fact that had dawned on her once she became sure of her decision, but rather she seems genuinely unsure of how to deal with the situation now that's in front of her. You could try pursuing a long-distance relationship. They're getting more and more common these days, after all. Oh, hello. Third person. Thank you for dropping by. Even as she says it, the tone of her voice gives away the fact that she doesn't truly believe what she's saying. Lily's far too old-fashioned to be able to cope with a relationship without any kind of physical presence, and even I am to an extent. All we would ever be to each other would be a voice from the other side of the world. In the end, trying to... Wait, is this because I chose the wrong route? In the end, trying to rationalize everything is futile. Any attempts to try and connect what's happening with the future or the past seems to be more difficult the more I concentrate. Those quiet moments when we walk side by side, the precious times we spent with Hanako and Akira, the casual chatter we had during lunchtimes, the times we made love, the confessions of our feelings to each other, all pointless. Just a fleeting moment in our young lives. Yeah, it's like none of it mattered. It's like it was all just a waste of time. Just two children pretending to be adults, aren't we? A long silence hangs in the air between us. The noise of the other patrons drinking and talking only makes the situation feel more strange and disconnected. Lily's face remains low, her dejected expression clouding it. I'm sorry, Hisao. A simple apology, and no more. She's left entirely without any further response or comment. With a long sigh, I gather what's left of my thoughts and ask the final question I have for her. When will you be going? I'll be leaving with Akira, so it'll be a little less than a week. The beginning of the summer holidays. Just a little afterward, yes. Her tone is unusually low and steady, her apologetic and depressed mood all the more written on her face as she tries to hide it in her voice. In the end, I can't even keep my promise of going to Tatabana with her before she leaves. No! I look down, seeing my face reflected in the by now lukewarm cup of neglected tea sitting in front of me. I really thought I left this kind of expression behind. For a while, I stared down into the still surface, trying to sort through my emotions to get at what the course of action I should take, whether it be right now or in the future. But just as before, the effort is wasted. I glance up to see Lily, gently sipping her cool tea without complaint, her face drawn and shoulders slumped. She looks as she might be deep in thought, too, a strangely cold atmosphere coming between us as we isolate ourselves to mull things over. Even as Lily's cup slowly empties, mine remains untouched. It's a long time before I notice the rain dying down outside and the few other patrons of the Shanghai having left. The chill of the rapidly darkening evening permeates the dormitory hallways. While trudging down the corridor to my room, I see an unwelcome movement from up ahead. Sure enough, the opening of the door opposite to mine heralds the arrival of a bespectacled Kenji. Hey man, what's... Oh dude, you look awful, I think. You okay? He really has a knack for making any situation better. I don't really want to go into it. It's late. Okay, that's cool. If you want to talk about it, you know I'm here. Aw, thank you, Kenji. I look at him for a moment before surrendering my stern front and awkwardly scratching the back of my neck, embarrassed by my standoffish response to him. Thanks, Kenji. Hey, it's cool. That's what friends are for, right? Yeah, you're right. See ya. I open the door to my own dorm room and close it behind me as he quickly waves me off. The solid thud of the door makes against the door frame call out for the final call for the life sounds out a final call for the life I've led since coming to Yamako. I just stand in my darkened room, fruitlessly attempting to work out what I should do from this point onwards. Just what should I do? That fucking blows. As class ends, I simply rest my head on my hand and stare out of the window to pass the time. It's been a few days since Lily told me our plans. I haven't been to our ordinary lunchtime haunt since then. Not that there will be much point. Hanako's been busy with newspaper club since she's newly joined, and even begun taking classes with Naomi every now and then. Even Lily, aside from the fact that a meeting between us would have been awkward in any case, has been run off her feet with class representative duties as the summer holidays approach. And now they're just about here. With the end of today's bell, the summer holidays will have begun. I suppose that all I'll end up doing will be visiting my parents for the duration and lazing about my old home, now that my previous plans are entirely askew. Meanwhile, Akira and Lily will be en route to Scotland to live out the rest of their lives there. No matter how hard I try to rationalize the idea that once summer holidays begin, my life will return to the way it always was. To the way it was simply refuses to happen. Everyone's moving on with their lives. Lily's rejoining her family, Akira's moving up her father's business, Hanako's gaining new friends and hobbies, and even Yuko's moving ahead with her university aspirations. Even I'm moving forward in the end. With the grade I've gotten so far in Yamaku, much less after such a rocky beginning. The path of getting into a teaching science as a career seems straightforward. Lucky you, Hisao. Lucky you. I suppose I should be at least happy about that much, but that doesn't really seem to help. Hee-chan! Oh man, I really hope my book. I really hope the book competition works out. I did tell you about that, didn't I? I'm writing a book series, or I'm writing a book for a competition right now. Please do go check it out. Wink, wink, wink. Or I would if I told you the name. Maybe I'll talk about it later. You know, interesting story for later. Wink, wink, wink. I stopped my ruminating and turned to the bubbly voice beside me, putting on the most upbeat expression I could muster. As expected, Shizune stands flanking her. I have a sneaking suspicion they want something from me. Hey Misha, Shizune, what's up? Well, Shi-chan and I were thinking, since we're just two poor little girls that need help with all the work we've been given just before the holidays begin, sure I can help. But He-chan, sure I can, we really need... What? I think I broke Misha. Even Shizune raises an eyebrow and her accomplice's shuddering stop in her tracks. So you'll help us, He-chan. I just said I would, didn't I? Sounds like I have anything better to do. Maybe helping them with their work will help take my mind off the situation. Misha seems genuinely ecstatic with my response, but Shizune's expression is clouded and difficult to read. I find myself quickly averting my eyes from her own, as it almost looks like a face of pity. No doubt it must be my imagination. This is hardly the first time I've been in the student council room. Indeed, I found myself down here often, either to help with Lily with class rep work, or to sort out one thing or another within the student council itself. Now though, it's quite a different place. Papers and folders are strewn across every table in the room, only a solitary little black laptop atop a single desk sticking out from the mess. It looks positively ancient. I guess it has been valiantly serving its task in archiving information for years and years. So, what needs doing? This looks like a lot to do. Shizune's expression becomes determined as she sighs. It's a worrying look. Everything, He-chan. My worry was well placed. Everything, you say? What's left on the desk is what needs to be done. It all needs to be digitally recorded, which is what the laptop is for. And I'm guessing that I'll be the one doing this. He-chan says you saw you with computers in the library a few days ago, and that you seemed really good with them. Good with computers? I could touch type, I guess, but still seems like an overestimation of my skills. How good were everyone's computer skills back in like 2009? Which is when I presume this game's taking place. I'm gonna have to ask some of my millennial friends. Oh, cool! Best of luck! Oh, yeah, thanks. Sorry, Jetty. I didn't notice your comment until just now. Yes. For the book competition, yes, thank you so much. I really got my fingers crossed. I'm like 2/3 of the way through, I think. And the competition ends next month. It's really, though, fingers crossed. I've really got my fingers crossed. Good with computers, I could touch type, I guess, but still it seems like an overestimation of my skills. I was just typing up homework. Wait, Shizune was watching me do that. One must know their allies before they can know their enemies, of course. Wow, that's pretty wise. For once, it's not very hard to work out who said that. Nonetheless, it doesn't seem worth fighting over. Sitting at a computer doing some typing seems hardly onerous as far as tasks to help Shizune and Misha go. Besides, it will help take your mind off things. Take my mind off things? Take my mind off what things? Misha's face goes blank as she translates this for Shizune, though the latter's response is only to glance away towards the window after briefly signing. Misha's face quickly returns to a smile as she translates back. She was confused, I guess, but Shizune is hard to pin down. I was just thinking you may like to get your mind off the exams, of course. Either way, we may as well get into it sooner rather than later. I'll go along with you. That's the spirit, Hee-chan. And that's the 5th spreadsheet compiled and saved. Time for the next month's. After a bit of fussing around, we all managed to get a bit more organized. Shizune's been gathering up blue sheets and thankfully sorting them into a neat pile next to me. Meanwhile, Misha's been handling the manual writing work, her girly pink pen leaving its unmistakable mark on paper after paper. Once I get myself into a rhythm, this really wasn't so bad. Shizune and Misha also seems to be in the swing of things, wordlessly communicating as they go about their business with fervor. I periodically glance at the sheets beside the laptop, apparently a list of student names and matching addresses, as I dutifully enter the data written on it. I don't pay a lot of attention to what I'm typing unless I can reach about midway down the page. Hakamichi, class 3. Huh, our family's home is in Saitama. My idle curiosity is ended abruptly as 3 light taps can be heard rapping on the door. Misha quickly skips over. Oh my god, it's gonna be Lily, isn't it? Misha quickly skips over to check who it is, tapping Shizune's shoulder on the way past to let her companion know what's happening. Ah, you're here. Who is it? With a slight pause to enter Shizune's data into the file along all the others, I look up to check who's at the door. Lily? Figures. After giving a cursory nod to Misha in the greeting, she perks her head up in her trademark manner. Is that Hisao? She's pretty darn good at working out my voice from the smallest of phrases nowadays. Yeah, it's me. Hey. The atmosphere feels slightly awkward as she bows. Neither of us know quite how intimate we should be around each other, given she's leaving in just a matter of hours. No! This is the fact that thankfully neither the oblivious Misha nor the hardworking Shizune pick up on. So you've got work to do as well. Unfortunately, I arrived as soon as I could, but my class held me up with a surprise farewell party, and I had to get changed. I glanced down at the laptop's clock. Oh, it's pretty much the end of lunchtime, so I'm guessing Lily managed to wrangle last period off as well. Man! This actually hurts. This actually hurts. I take it Shizune's here as well. Of course! Wait, is this why we didn't meet Lily at the end of Shizune's route? And I've been here during all of lunchtime as well. That last comment was really not neat. Wait, was she? I don't remember, actually. It was really not needed. Shizune's baiting Lily into another argument. I can feel it. I'm sorry I can't be as hardworking as you, Shizune. I'll endeavor to hire more lackeys to do my work in the future, I assure you. And Lily took the bait, escalating things further. But aren't you the one always outsourcing your work to your classmates? The difference is that they choose to help, unlike your tyrannical grip on your own class. Wait, did this conversation happen in the Shizune route? I feel like it did. Or am I just going crazy? Crazy? I was crazy once. Tyranny works. Even if we did things differently, we got the same results, right? Ah, the ends justify the means. This is school, not a police state. You'll have to remind me when you were the class-appointed monarch, I'm afraid. An absolute, yes, absolute monarchy. You gotta love it. You have to seize power. It's not good as if it's just handed to you, but I guess you wouldn't really understand that, right? Well, less of a monarch, more of a... Yeah, there have been monarchs who seize power after murdering all their siblings. Yeah, you're not a monarch type. You're like the constitutional you got the constitutional monarch here, and then we got the absolute monarch who clawed her way to the top. Yeah, I think that's a good comparison. Sarah, the constitutional monarch. She is Scottish, actually. Never mind. This does kind of fit. This does kind of fit. You'll have to remind me when monarchs were elected into their positions. Lily positively bristles at this. Shizune's 2-hit combo forces her onto defense. Yet for all your vaunted power, you cannot get one person to help you without forcing him. But Hisao volunteered. He's such a hard worker. He's doing this instead of meaningless socialization, right? Is that so, Hisao? Ah, this is bad. I've really ended up between a rock and a hard place. And much as it pains me to do this, the truth has at least a chance of stopping this argument here and now. It's okay, Lily. They didn't harass me to come or anything. Lily gives me a disapproving grimace, silently radiating her strong feelings of displeasure in my general direction. She can be quite scary when she wants to be, though thankfully that isn't often. Hee-chan, you make it sound like that's a regular occurrence. It isn't? In the end, it doesn't matter as long as everything's getting done at a good pace. Let's just get this work over with so we can go home. There we go, Hisao the negotiator. She snorts derisively and gets back to her marking off the sheet in front of her, while Lily sighs and finds her way back onto the room, with hand following the filling cabinets lined along the wall. This would mark the only time I've managed to successfully defuse one of these situations, but the grudging ceasefire built around mutual fear and respect makes this feel more like a Cold War than any real peace. Yeah, I can't take all the credit though. Lily's leaving surely has affected Shizune to some extent, to make her give up so easily. Hold on, guys. There we go, just fixed my avatar. Can't take all the credit though. Lily's leaving has surely affected Shizune to some extent, to make her give up so easily. Moments before getting back to my work, I noticed Lily reaching to grab something from above a filing cabinet. I almost offered to help, but her height makes ample ability to take it down safely. When she sets a strangely stepped place on the device beside me, I realize what it is, sort of, as she takes the green covering off and sits down. What? At first I glance, it seems to be an ordinary metallic blue typewriter. That is a cool is that a Braille typewriter? That's so cool. But it doesn't take me long to realize it's far from ordinary. It has far fewer keys than expected, and those it have showed no lettering printed on them. Only the shadows cast by the tiny Braille dots on them given the hint to the thing's purpose. Blind typewriter. Oh, well, you're not far off. It's only called a Perkins Braille, but it's basically a typewriter for the blind, yes. A typewriter. Man, have I ever seen a typewriter? That looks like a really old-fashioned typewriter, because as I said, we do have a typewriter at home. But it's definitely a lot more modern. It's a lot more like, it's a lot closer to like the typewriters that like the last generation of typewriters from like the 60s and 70s, not like the really classic ones. And I know this doesn't look like a classic typewriter. This looks like 30s, 50s, maybe? Because you get what I'm saying, right? There are certain types of typewriters. Wait, you know the really iconic ones you see from like the 19th century, right? Or like World War I guess some are older typewriters in World War II fit that description as well. You get what I'm saying though, right? That looks like that's like a mid-20th century, something like that. Ours is modern. I wish I had an old-fashioned typewriter. You know those ones where, like, the mechanical ones where you, like, click down and, like, you could really see the keys in internal structure move? I think those are so cool. It presses Braille onto the page rather than text, which is why it has fewer keys. Huh, that's really neat. She gives a lighthearted grin at my curiosity over it. I have to admit that it appeals to my sense of novelty. Without further ado, we each get back to our allotted task. The loud clunking of mechanics in Lily's brailler and the tapping of the laptop's old and wary keyboard fill the room. It's a nice atmosphere, really. Everyone knows what they have to do, and Lily and I get to sit beside each other and exchange the odd word as we work away. Nostalgic. That's what it feels like. It's pleasant, but it's just slightly stained with the knowledge that our time together is nearing its end. Excuse me, Misha. To properly address her, Misha bounces over from the filing cabinet she's peering into, in spite of Lily's lack of sight. For a moment, I think it's strange, but I realize it's exactly what I do. What's up? Could you ask Shizune where the attendance records for Class 3-2 are? I think they've been moved. Okie dokie. And with that, she flitters off to Shizune, who's working at a table behind us. Lily's familiarity with the council room and the efficiency with which she works reminds me that she, Misha, and Shizune used to all work together in the student council. Dang. Maybe this is a fitting end for her stay in Yamaku, working away like she used to, surrounded by those she loves and at least liked. I look up, getting caught off guard by Shizune sorting through a drawer rather than Misha. Sure enough, she plucks out the manila folder, entirely blank save for the just barely visible bumps on its front, and holds it in front of Lily. Lily's hand flits over to it to check over what it is, her fingers feeling out the dots of braille and confirming it's what she asked for. Thank you, Misha. No reply. No reply, that is save for an odd grin, no, smile on Shizune's face. Oh, that's adorable. A couple seconds pass before Lily clicks that it isn't Misha behind her, but Shizune. A momentary look of surprise is replaced by a slightly bashful smile. Oh, that's adorable. For a few moments, the room is all but still and silent. Eventually, though, Shizune strides back to her workstation, and Lily begins typing once again. It only lasted a handful of seconds in all, but it really feels like the years of communication made up for that one silent exchange. There, finished. I lean my head back and rub my eyes to try and work away their wariness. Staring at that small and rather poor screen has taken its toll. Excellent timing. The only thing left is to file these away and I'll have my workload finished as well. Good, I could pack up the brailler and put it away while you do that. Thank you, Hisao. Misha, are you and Shizune far from being done? I look around for the two as I replace the cover over the brailler, only to see them waiting at the door. I guess they must be waiting for us. With the minimum of wasted time, we file and pack up everything that remains and join them. Thanks for waiting, you two. We couldn't just take off without you, Hee-chan. You've been a great help. Shizune nods approvingly, pleased with my efforts. I guess that's the last class representative work done and over with then. That's right. I'll miss you, Lily. I think it was fun working with you. Thank you, Misha. It's been good working with you and Shizune. Shizune thinks for a moment before formulating her response. It's not that she often communicates without thinking, quite the opposite, but this time it's even more considered than usual. Misha looks a little surprised before passing on the message. Shizune says, you better do your work over there better than you did it here. Far from taking offense, Lily giggled into her hand. If that's the case, please tell Shizune to give those still here a little more understanding in the future. Competitive until the last. Maybe Lily and Shizune aren't so different after all. Oh, that's... Shi-chan says you'll be checking to make sure you live up to your end of the promise. Then that's how it will be. Aww. I better be off. Goodbye, Shizune. Goodbye, Misha. Hisao? Lily takes a hold of my arms in hers, there being no need for a cane if I'm there to guide her. With a nod of farewell to the two, we set off out the door and make our way to the school grounds. As I turn to wave goodbye to them, I notice Shizune's gaze lingering on Lily. They may annoy each other, but family bonds aren't easily broken. Got all your papers sorted then? Yes, they've all been filled out and handed in. Always on top of things as always, aren't you? She gives an earnest smile at the compliment, but it feels as if her happiness is just a veneer over the fact that she's fully aware of how much she's leaving behind. I need another drink. It reminds me of how she was when I first met her. Always smiling, always that little bit aloof, always that little distance away from everybody. Even now, she still maintains that air around many others, especially those she's not close to. Oh, hold on, sorry guys. It was nothing. Yum, cookie. Hold on. Even now, she still maintains that air around many others, especially those she's not close to. I'd hoped that our time together would have changed that fact. Our pace slows, the two of us coming to a halt in the all but empty school gardens. Hisao is something that... Lily's words are cut short as I turn and wrap my arms around her, pulling her tight. I may not usually be given to such impulsive actions, but I just want to be close to her, even if it's the last time I'll be able to. All the other students have retreated to their dormitories and homes, only the ruffling of leaves in the breeze making any sound whatsoever. As I draw back, I can see she has dropped her carefully maintained smile. Her hand hesitates, wanting neither to leave nor to stay on my features. She's putting up a brave show, but her slight trembling gives her away. Lily may be able to control herself well, but even she can't hold her composure now. Her composure together now. This is the woman I've come to love, but also the one who, in all short time, will leave the country forever. I'm sorry, Hisao. It's okay. You've got your own life to lead, after all. We walk up the hallway in the girls' dormitory hand in hand, our emotions by now largely quelled. Nevertheless, our hands grip each other's much more tightly than before. Faint, muffled voices can be heard from Lily's room, the origins of which aren't difficult to guess. The moment she opens the door, Hanako bursts through and wraps her arm around Lily, taking her very obviously by surprise. Lily! Lily! Hanako? I'm going to miss you, Lily. As expected, she's on the verge of tears. Lily gently rubs Hanako's hair with her hand in response, and then pulls back and gives a warm, reassuring smile. Looking beyond Hanako, Akira can be seen getting up from the side of Lily's bed and scratching her head. Her eyes turn from Lily and Hanako to me, a stilted, weak smile hanging on her face. I try to return a genuinely more happy look, but the result is probably just the same. So, everything set? Managed to hold back from killing Shizune. The comment draws an amused giggle from her sister. Yes, I have everything in order, and yes, I managed not to. Have you packed up everything you needed? I got the 2 bags right here, but there's still some stuff left at the Hakamichi's home. I could pick that up while we wait there for tomorrow evening's flight, though. Akira gives the 2 black traveling bags on the floor a hearty pat. She probably came to help pack and make sure everything was in order on Lily's end before going together with her. Lily, will you be okay over there? I'll be alright, I assure you. I'll have Akira looking after me as well, and you know that she's reliable. But don't worry, Hanako. I have your phone number after all, so we can stay in touch. With Akira's help, I could send you things over the internet as well. Hey, don't use me just because you won't learn how to use a computer. Hanako and Lily both giggle briefly, the mood lightening ever so little. And that goes for you too, Hisao. I promise I'll contact you once I'm in Scotland. I know, I'll be looking forward to it. Her offer may be kind, but we both know that this is tantamount to breaking up. Neither have any of illusions as to how well we'll manage a long-term relationship. With nary a word of prompting, the 4 of us begin the long, solemn walk to the school gate. The numerous lamps scattered around the Yamaka grounds fail to do much more than provide pinpoints of light in an otherwise dense darkness. A car parked on the road just outside the school grounds comes into view, its shining black exterior reflecting the dimly lit lamps of Yamaku. I call out to Akira in an effort to alleviate a bit the heavy atmosphere. That your car? What kind is it? Don't know much about cars, do you? It's a Lancer Evo, solid and speedy. It's a cool car. Not yours for long though, actually, now that I think about it. See, I used to be really into cars as a kid. Nowadays, I'm more like a military vehicle in general guy, but trust me, I used to love cars, trucks, trains, that kind of stuff, with wheeled vehicles when I was a kid. God. I miss being a kid. Well, it's not as ever common as on my knowledge is off the mark. I've never really taken an interest in them. She gives a small sigh. She's been good. Pity I have to part with it tomorrow, just like the summer house. You guys were the last to visit it before it changed hands. Turning back from my rather faulty attempt at small talk, I glance at Hanako and Lily following behind us. By all rights, Hanako should be leading Lily, but it's definitely the other way around as she clings tightly to Lily's arm. It's a depressing sight. So, I guess this is it. Indeed. Although the time for everyone to say their farewells is now, nobody really wants to take the first step. It's as if the longer nobody speaks, the better the chances of them simply not leaving. Lily, do you really have to go? I'm sorry, Hanako. I won't be leaving you forever, though. I can still call you. Hisao will be here as well. I nod, but Hanako just clutches all the tighter to Lily's arm. After spending so long without anyone to call family, it must be excruciating to have to say goodbye to the one person that was as close to a mother as anyone could have been in her life. Lily lets out a long, sad breath. All Akira and I could really do is stand by quietly on the sidelines, since the only person that could solve this would be Lily herself. Eventually, Lily pulls her arm from Hanako's grip and holds both of her shoulders gently, a much more decisive way of address than I've ever seen Lily take with her. Hanako, remember when we first met? When you entered my room for the first time after overhearing my consoling of a friend, you didn't say a single word for the entire night. Even as I poured you tea and talked, you sat silently and simply listened to what I said. It took many quiet meetings like that before you began to open up to me, but as you began to, I felt some of the happiest moments I've ever felt. And because I didn't become your friend. Oh, this is sweet. Why didn't we get this conversation in the Hanako route? I didn't become your friend because I pitied you, Hanako. I became your friend because I knew you were hiding not just from me, but from everyone. Your ambitions, your personality, interests, tastes, I didn't know any of them, and neither did anybody else. As you showed yourself to me, though, I began to realize the person that you were, and became sure that our meeting was a very special moment. Sorry. But God, this is adorable. Okay. God. Lily cuts her words short as she brings her hands to Hanako's head and brushes her bangs to the side, gently pressing her lips to Hanako's forehead. As she pulls back, leaving Hanako all but speechless and her eyes moist, Lily beams a wide smile. I believe you're a very beautiful person, Hanako, and I'm certain that you'll become a strong and confident woman. Lily! Lily! So true! On one hand, so true. On the other hand, Lily, this is why you're best girl. Lily, you are a very dear friend and someone whom I love very much. Just like Hisao, I'll never forget you for as long as I live. I may be leaving, but you have your own life here to lead. Just as I do, you have your own friends and hobbies and your own hopes after graduation. I want you to devote yourself to them, even after I'm not around anymore. Aw, cute, but still so bittersweet. I know! Oh, goddamn. Oh, it's... Damn. This is why I think you'll be okay. Because you're your own self with your own life. You yourself proved that to me. This is actually really sad. Hanako lowers her head in embarrassment, but nods as she does so. I understand. I know I have to say goodbye. I know you have to go your own way. But thank you, Lily, for everything. Thank you, Hanako. Will you be okay? There are very few seconds of silence before the answer comes. I will. Lily smiles, undoubtedly, at least partly, in relief. That makes me very happy then. Goodbye. Goodbye, Lily. And farewell to you as well, Hisao. Goodbye. I'll miss you. She pauses for a moment before walking up to me. Her right hand, outstretched in front of her, takes a hold of my shoulder. Her left hand slowly and daintily reaches towards my face, taking my cheek in her palm. For a while, she simply holds my face, her fingers just slightly moving to take in its contours. Usually her hand would be warm when doing such a thing, but the night airs gives her skin a cool edge. I'm not sure how long we stay like this, her clouded eyes pointed just below my own as she wears a wistful, almost distant smile. Eventually, though, I take her cold hands in mine. It's difficult to do so, but with a slight sigh, I gently remove her hand from my cheek. I hope you have a long, happy life, Lily, no matter where you might go. Thank you. I'll make sure to. She takes a long, trembling breath before turning slightly towards Akira's direction. Akira. Okay. With a nod, she takes Lily's hand and begins to guide her to the car parked outside the gates. They both walk slowly and deliberately, as if their movements had been rehearsed in advance. It's strange to feel like this now, watching somebody leave Yamako. The feeling of unease I have now reminds me of the first time I walked through those black wrought iron gates that look far too pompous for what they were. As they leave, all of us know full well that our lives are irreversibly changing. I'd always told myself that I just had to take life as it comes, but everything's changing so fast, so suddenly. Man... I feel that. I really feel that. In the end, Lily's an irreplaceable part in the lives of both Hanako and me. The noise of Akira opening the passenger door for Lily brings me out of my thoughts, and her hand waving back as Lily gets in. See you guys. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, Hanako. Goodbye, Hisao. Hanako's hand quickly shoots up, her face brightened by her enthusiastic farewell. Goodbye, Lily. Goodbye. See you, Akira. And goodbye, Lily. The door shuts as we all put our best happy farewell faces, Akira getting in the car herself and starting it up in short measure. Lily's hand can be seen waving through the tinted windows, both of our hands waving high as well. Just as every other time I've done such things, I can't work out precisely why or Hanako waved her given that she'd never see us doing so. Man! Oh, God, that hits hard. But it doesn't matter. God. Dear God. Even after that black shiny car goes out down the hill and disappears into the dark night, we're carrying on waving and seeing Akira and Lily off. And then... they're gone. A strange stillness takes over as our hands return to our sides. I don't quite know what I should do or how I should feel. In the end, we just stand there silently staring down at where the car disappeared from sight. Goodbye, Lily. All I could do in response to her quiet, mournful goodbye is to place a hand on her shoulder. She looks at me for a few seconds before going back down the hill, securing the knowledge that I'm still around for her. What we'll do from now on doesn't seem all that uncertain. We all have our own ambitions, just as Lily said. But even so, I feel like there's a certain missing part in both of our lives now, something that can never be replaced. Farewell. I got an achievement. Reached Lily's neutral ending. Neutral ending. So, we're not satisfied with this, are we? We gotta get the good ending. That was beautiful, but we gotta get the good ending. Lily's best girl. I'm not. Does Lily still lead the good ending? Hold on. I need to. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hold on. I just need to mention the letter, that's it. I just need to mention the letter. We're not ending it like this, okay? We're not ending it like this. This is not how it ends, okay? This is not how it ends. Though, actually, a part of me is thinking, maybe I should go for a piss break. It's not gonna end like that. It's not gonna end like that. I refuse to let it end like that. The episode's still going. The stream's still going, guys. Don't leave. Though, I will take a very quick piss break, so yes, I will be right back. Alright, lads. Folks, we're going for the good ending. I mean, I think this is fair. Realistically, this is what I would have done myself if I was Hisao. I mean, I know that Hisao and I are different people. Someone... I didn't read the post, but someone made... what... Was it like... Was it on Reddit, I think? Someone mentioned... Nope, good ending all the way, hell yeah. Someone mentioned on Reddit how, like, Hisao Nakai is a really... He's sort of interesting in that he's both a self-insert protagonist but also manages to be his own character at the same time. I think it's kind of, like... And I do admit, like, there are a lot of ways that Hisao is different from me. But in many ways, like, you also really do get to, like, feel the kind of person he is. I didn't read it because of spoilers, but I only... Well, no, I did read, like, the first paragraph, but I was like, I'm not going to read full further. I don't want to get spoiled, but... Damn it, I should have saved that or something. I don't... What... Was it on Reddit? Was it on 4chan? Was it on fucking... I don't know, Twitter? What... Where was it? I don't even know where it was. I don't even know how to find it. My god. I'll have to look it up later. The memory of that single letter Iwanako sent comes back to my mind. I never saw her again, but... And we all remember this, right? We all remember this. I never saw her again, but after I was sent to Yamako, she wrote me one letter. Lily's face shows an expression I know well. I've piqued her interest. Right, we all remember this conversation, correct? Okay. I'm sorry, I was just reading through it really quick. Lily's face shows an expression I know well. I've piqued her interest. I'd be very slightly offended that it's simply a matter of curiosity for her, but she's never been very good at masking her reactions. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Wait. I think I know how this is gonna lead to the better ending. In hindsight, it really didn't say much what was going on in my old class, how she was faring, and almost as an afterthought, that was probably for the both of us that we don't see each other again. After reading it, I ended up reassessing a lot of things I'd managed to work out. For the most part, that letter reminded me of the world around me was still moving and how much I'd become isolated from it. And I guess it also reminded me of what I lost. She gives the information some thought before her face lights up in realization. No doubt she's worked out that this was a letter which contributed to my angst during that lunch on the rooftop. It's rare to see Lily so lost in words. Her entire persona is a little deflated from her earlier rapt interest. As charismatic as she is, in the end, that isn't a replacement for life nor relationship experience. Perhaps it is better that she sent it than not. How's that? It can be difficult to work out how best to communicate with those you haven't met in a long time. All the more so, considering your separate situations. Instead of doing what was easiest, she both had the courage to talk to you one last time. Not only for her sake, but for how it sounds for yours as well. Maybe, I don't hate her for it. Not that I ever really did, but I don't know. Probably a more non-committal answer than I should give, but it isn't without cause. I've never looked at the situation from Iwanako's perspective like that before. Seconds pass in silence before Lily speaks again. Moving to Yamaku must have been hard for you, having your friends and even your girlfriend taken from you. Well... I mean, I do want to say, was she really your girlfriend? I mean, I don't know. It feels like she wasn't really your girlfriend, right? She only confessed. Did Hisao ever confess back? I don't think he did. I clearly recall he didn't. The worst of it passed while I was in hospital. When all that surrounds you is four white walls and a small television, your mind takes on a life of its own. It's like my old school, I guess. I just try not to dwell on what's happened and keep thinking ahead. All that reminiscing does get me down. It's largely thanks to you that it feels like things are finally getting back on track. That's pleasing to hear, Hisao. She lowers her face slightly, her expression pensive. I guess I went too far and embarrassed her. I suppose you went through something like that. A bit like that when I did when you entered Yamaku anyway, right? I'd imagine the vast majority of our school students did, after all. Okay, we've seen this. Hold on, I'm pretty sure there's a not suitable for work scene up ahead, so I will just censor it all for you. And no, I don't think I need to 18+ this. You guys aren't even reading anything. You will be staring at my chest. This happens? Okay. So Lily okay, so you guys aren't able to see this, but apparently I was looking at it earlier. Lily still gets pissed and like slams the ground in front of Kenji. Yep. We're past it. Alright. This is all- wait, this is all- we've passed the point where I was at last episode, just now. With the library scene. Hold on. Yes, we're retreading old ground. We literally saw this not too long ago. So all this is the same. Wait! We reached the neutral ending. This is the neutral ending. So it just goes on from here. It's kind of like Steins Gate with the Kurisu route versus the golden ending. That's kind of cool. So it's all the same, and it just... There's no moment... It's not different from the neutral ending. This is... It just goes on. Okay. Come on. Come on, baby. Work with me here. Work with me. What? Work with me? What the fuck am I... What the fuck do I want to work with me? Why am I saying this? I don't know why I'm saying it. I'm continuing. The snap of my mobile phone's closing contrasts with the ambient chatter and noise of audible even in the hallway outside the library. It's the first day of the summer holidays, a time that had been perpetually seemed so far away, and yet it's now not only here but also made painfully obvious by the students or lack thereof left in the school. Most students have returned home to spend the holidays with relatives by now. The few that are left are mostly chatting in between themselves, usually about what they intend to do in the coming weeks. Makes me feel like the odd one out for taking advantage of the school library being open for the first several days of the holidays. Ostensibly, it's for students to drop off any books they've borrowed and have yet to return, and for those who will have their parents pick them up to help pass the time until they get whisked away. Thanks to the lengthy phone call from my parents, which had so rudely awoken me from my sleeping on a beanbag at the back of the library, I'm now in the latter category. Sliding my phone back into my pocket, this time remembering to set it to silent, I go back into the quiet and wholly placid room. It's a nostalgic sight. Just as when Lily had first led me to the library, the orange tint of sunset bathes the room in its light while Hanako sits on a beanbag silently reading and Yuko Fuss is just barely visible behind the counter. Hanako especially has been noticeably more quiet than usual since yesterday's happening, but I can't really blame her. It wasn't just me that depended on that person after all. I quietly walked back to the beanbag near her where I'd sat before, being doubly careful not to make any unnecessary noise. The soft puff it gives as the bag takes my weight makes Hanako's eyes flick towards me, but only for a second. I get the feeling that Hanako's been quiet only partly out of sadness following Lily's departure. Rather, she seems more thoughtful and measured than I expected, perhaps due to her desire of working out how to deal with Lily's leaving, rather than just being depressed over it. Makes me rather proud of her. Hey, Hanako? Yeah? Still going ahead with your idea of traveling? She gives a determined nod. I'll be starting in a day or two. Naomi's decided to come with me too. Wow, quick start. Where you two headed to first? I think we're going to start by going north and loop down and go southward. So, Hokkaido's gonna be first. She gives another nod more tentative than the last. The significance of that place is not lost on either of us. Do you know how you're gonna handle the traveling expenses and accommodations? Yeah, I've worked everything out. I think it should be okay. Naomi says she has her side worked out too. You know, if you need anything, you could just call, right? I gave your number before. Any time of the day is fine. She gives a smile, which in itself feels like a small personal victory. I know. Thanks, he saw. Maybe Lily was right. Although I may offer Hanako any help I could possibly give, I feel as if I know she doesn't need it. She really has grown. Hanako! Hanako's plans for her holidays are in sharp contrast to the simple following of my parents' suggestions to stay with them. Holidays always had made me feel less excited than most, though, so maybe this is just a return to the status quo. Before my heart attack, I lived so aimlessly that holidays weren't all that much different from everyday life anyway. Man, why does this hurt me so much? I have big dreams, okay? I have ambitions, but dear God, what the hell am I doing? Oh, I gotta write my book. I really need to write my book. I need to win the competition. Please let it happen. After school, I'd wander around the city a bit often hanging out with some friends before making my way home to eat dinner with usually one of my parents, but rarely both. The work schedules didn't leave much time for them to be home, and I was going there straight from school. And going there straight from school would just have meant I ended up feeling bored. I was an urbanite through and through. I mean, yeah, I'm a city kid too. I can't blame you there. Since coming to Yamaku, though, it feels like I've fundamentally changed as a person. The phone call of my parents erased any traces of doubt I might have held on to that in any case. Oh, before I'd exercised fairly nominal level of independence for a teenager, that being not a whole lot, my parents were a lot more than pleased to hear my newfound ability in taking care of myself. Laundry, cooking for myself, cleaning, all in addition to other general chores that come from living without parents around. Just little menial things I've come to pick up, but with relative ease. When I think about it, I'd always depended on them, even if they hadn't been home all the time. To say I'd never depended on anyone after moving to Yamaku dormitories would be far from the truth, though. Excuse me. The two of us look up at the awkwardly fidgeting figure in front of us. Some things never change. It's getting close to closing time, so, oh, right. I've forgotten that the library closes earlier during the holidays. Hanako and I both get up and dust ourselves off, placing our books back on the shelf behind us. The fact that our taste in reading material have a fair amount of overlap is useful at times. With a bow to Yuko to apologize for taking so much time, Hanako takes her leave of us. Leave of us. What? See you tomorrow, Hisao. Bye. And with that, she walks out of the large wooden aging doors that herald the entrance to the library. She's a quiet person, isn't she? I suppose I should be surprised at staff members sharing personal opinions like this, but after knowing Yuko for a while, it's largely expected. Our relationship is more personal rather than the one with her acting as an authority figure. Yeah, I guess that's just how she is. She's got a lot more confidence in herself these days, though. I don't know her as well as you do, but I think I agree. It's nice to see her talking to people here. She never used to do that before. Hey, Yuko, you know about Lily's leaving, right? She told me herself a few days ago. It must be hard leaving everyone behind like she is. She quickly looks back to me after she says this, probably remembering that I went to her for advice on the relationship between Lily and me before. Are you going to be okay? That's a difficult question. It's something I'd rather not think about for now, though, given more pressing issues. Something seems kind of off about this whole deal, don't you think? Yuko appears to think for a while, absentmindedly scrunching her face up in a variety of creative ways as she does so. I don't think I really know her well enough to make that kind of judgment. Sorry, can't be of more help. No, that's fine. I was just sort of thinking out loud. I give a deep sigh and scratch my head in frustration. By the way, I just realized it's been like 6 months since I started Katawa Shoujo. That's crazy. It might be like, I'm not sure if it's over or just under, but it's been around 6 months. That's crazy. I give a deep sigh and scratch my head in frustration. There's just so much stuff happening at once that I have no control over. It feels like I'm being swamped. Man. Am I supposed to be past that stage in my life? God. I think everyone goes through times like that. What's important is to concentrate on what you can do rather than what you can't do. At least that's how I see it. If I didn't think like that, I don't think I'd be able to manage my life as it is. She says it with a smile and a light tone, but her words are far from any kind of joke. Being pulled between 2 jobs as she is, just to hopefully make enough money not to only live, but also for university must be exhausting. Perhaps that's why, coming from her, this feels like it has more meaning than if it had come from most others. I guess you got a point there. Thank you for your advice once again, Yuko. She bows deeply and smiles again before making her way back to the counter where she spends so much of her time. The tiny wings of the cardboard crane in my fingers are only visible in the dim light of my room, just a little of the moonlight being able to peek through the curtains and around their edges. I still lie in my dark bed for a long time, idly looking up at the origami bird. Feels like a lot's happened since Lily's folded this, but at the same time, it feels like very little has changed. God damn it. God damn it. How is this a good ending? Compared to everyone else, I'm back to square one. That hits hard. That hits me hard. I might have a newfound idea of where I want to go in life, but that's hardly something that affects me now. Oh, that stings. Hanako changed, I know that much. If anything, she just makes me feel like I've got no excuse to be like this, considering her previous situation. That fucking hurts me. I don't know. This really hurts me. Ouch. Ugh. Lily, though. I turn the bird in my fingers the other way, looking at it from yet another angle. When I first met her, she seemed aloof and somewhat distant. Her actions were always careful, measured and precise, and her carefully maintained composure always gave the appearance of unerring confidence and serenity. In time, she became less formal, just a bit, but enough. It felt good to see her lowering her inhibitions around me and opening up, even just a little, of her own accord. It felt as if I was seeing her real self slowly become more vibrant and visible. Now, though, I'm beginning to have doubts. Perhaps they're to be expected after what is, effectively, the two of us breaking up. They don't feel new or strange, though, but like an old book being found and dusted off. God damn it. I thought this was a good ending. Do we get a time skip or something, please? I soon realized after meeting Lily that she saw me she did Hanako, someone who needed help and care. At first, I simply thought that we'd be fine as friends, helping each other through our limited time together in school. But then I began to treasure our moments together more and more, from our quiet walks to our talking over lunch. The good sides of her personality became ever more obvious and even more likable. The absence caused by Lily's trip to Scotland to visit her long-distant family and sick aunt only made me realize just how much I liked being around her, and I thought that she felt a similar way. For her, though, maybe that wasn't everything to our relationship. Even after she returned to Japan, that just means she lost her family once again after meeting them for such a brief time. She lived so much of her life without her family around, not to mention with Akira working long hours, that she had no choice but to be like that. I thought her sense of independence to be a good and admirable trait. It was in stark difference to my reliance on my parents before my heart attack, and reluctant as I may have been to admit it. However, it also meant that she had never let people get too close to her. She lost her family due to her blindness, went to a different school from anybody she knew because of it, and worked all the harder to make sure she didn't end up a burden on her sister and those around her. Now Akira is going to Inverness, just like the family she thought she lost. She never told me of her plans, as conflicted as she was about them. Lily didn't want to be a burden on anyone, including me. I'm an idiot. I never questioned it. I never tried to be there or asked when she needed me to. I just set my life up and expected it to stay that way forever, with the two of us just having a nice long relationship where we push forwards our future together. This feels like a physical, this feels like a personal attack. Why the hell? A small pit of frustration and anger wells up inside my chest. I just let everything happen, never even trying to help Lily. Is there anyone I haven't helped now that I think about it? Just her being there was enough. I thought I could keep going on if that were true. But that could never have been enough. It was a childlike dependence on somebody without any attempt to understand or help their situation. Thanks to that, I lost Lily. I lost the one person I loved most because I wasn't there for her when she needed me. With an increasingly angry feeling washing over me, I turn over and set the crane back on the desk next to my clock, the place where it has lived since the day she folded it for me. Since that day when she said herself that my burdens needn't be my own. The obnoxious red numerals of my alarm clock shine through the darkness of the room onto my tired eyes. 10 o'clock, evening, curfew will be soon. I wonder. Akira mentioned they'd be leaving this evening. Oh, shit! Hold on, I need to go to the bathroom again. Just give me a sec, folks. Give me a sec. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. Bro, we gotta lock in. Is it happening? I have no idea exactly when their flight is, but that means there's a chance, however small, that they might not have already left. Are you going to chase after her? Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Oh my god. Hell yeah. Adrenaline starts to move through my body as I sit up on my bed. My eyes suddenly are wide with possibility. There's no guarantee they haven't left. Indeed, it's likely that they already have, but there's also a chance that they haven't. Tower small, maybe. Why are you going to bed at 10? Just this once, just as I should have before. There's a plane flying overhead. How thematic. I stand up and rush over to my cabinet, throwing on some clothes as fast as I can and sliding them on in quick succession. Every second that goes by is a second I can't regain, a second that may mean the difference between catching them and losing them forever. Even if I fail, I have to try. I can't have her leave everything behind without even trying to stop her. Without this once being there for her. He saw you fucking Giga Chad. Oh my god, Dudeski, you fucking Giga Chad. With the last of my clothes slipped on, I hastily grabbed the phone off the desk. Luckily, the number for a local taxi company is still in my call history. A gruff, unenthusiastic voice announces the name of the company while I pace around the room. It takes some effort to slow down my voice, and I keep it clear over the phone. The chilly night air sweeps against me as I open the dormitory door, but nevertheless, I keep up my brisk speed as I half jog, half run to the school, out to the school gates. It may not be curfew just yet, but it's precariously close. If there were a guard around, they'd no doubt have some questions for me, but looks like I've managed to come out just before they arrive, or they're around a corner. My pace picks up as I make my way through the school gardens. Their nighttime allure all but lost when I begin to run to the school gate. The lamps in the courtyard, as dim as they are, provide just enough illumination for light to light the way and prevent me from tripping over. The buildings themselves take on a rustic, almost antique-looking edge when I glance at them. That's because they are rustic and antique. Visually. Looking back, it seems strange that they all once appeared so dark and looming to me. Now they just look to be somewhat anachronistic school buildings. The same as any other, bar their age. Leaving the gates behind me, I pulled to a stop just before the taxi. Parked just as Akira's car had been, its gaudy and brightly lit sign looks out of place in the quiet country backdrop. I patiently squeeze myself through the door, give the driver the address for where the two should be hopefully staying. By the time the taxi pulls up after its trip at maddeningly casual speed, it's well and truly deep into the night. The house is truly enormous, its sheer size much larger than I expected, and it's ominously still. Fearing the worst, I ask the driver to stay just in case my efforts are for naught. A single press on the fancy intercom system outside the gate produces a short electronic melody in an otherwise silent road. It's not before a somewhat deep, gruff voice can be heard from it. This is the Hakamichi residence. Please state your name and why you're bothering us so late. I press on despite inwardly wincing at the reasonable annoyance audible in his voice. It's Hisao Nakai. I was hoping to meet Lily or Akira if they're still here. Surprisingly, I managed to summon quite some energy to my voice, enough to make the other side of the intercom silent. A few seconds pass, but just before I press the button again and ask what's going on, a light turns on outside the front door. I strain my eyes to try and make out who is coming through, but as he comes past a large parked car with fishing rods sticking out the back, his identity becomes clear. His face is typically placid and emotionless as he saunters up the gate. He's still childlike in his mannerisms, despite his demeanor. With the press of a few buttons from behind the fence, the gate slowly opens. Isao, what are you doing here? I think this is the most emotion I've ever heard from his voice, not that it would be hard to reach that mark. Akira told me that she and Lily would be staying here before they left for their flight. I need to talk to Lily just one last time. Are they still here? Look on his face says everything. Shit, I failed. I was too late. The one time I actually need to act quickly and... Actually, it's possible. What is it? He's a bit taken back by my further, but I can't help it at this point. They left not long ago, only a few minutes after you arrived. In fact, if you go straight to the airport, you might be able to... Hisao! Yo, baby! Oh my... This is like a fucking movie scene. Peak! Peak. Actually peak. Oh my fucking peak. Holy shit. Are we actually chasing her at the airport? Thanks, Hideaki. With that, I take a seat and in short order bark out my destination. Sorry. My chest beats wildly as I tear down the street, my body twisting this way and that to slip between the pedestrians walking back and forth beside me. With the road solidly blocked by taxis and other cars, dropping off passengers and picking up others in the time they have to wait. We ended up having to stop almost a block away. Don't have a heart attack, man. That's in the past now. What matters is reaching Lily. You go, Hisao. You go. You get her. Jeez. One foot hits the ground, the other quickly falling without the slightest thought, as if my legs have taken on a life of their own. And all my mind can do is concentrate on the view ahead of me. Just one glimpse of that long hair of hers, that long yellow hair that was the same color as the wheat that stretched as far as the eye could see. In the end, I depended on Lily just like Hanako did. Even after we started going out, it still doesn't feel like she ever really let herself depend on me. Except for one moment. The moment where we held each other tightly on that bright yellow field. At the time, she must have feared losing me, just as she did everyone else. That's why just this once, the night air wraps around me, draining every last remnant of warmth out of my body, to the extent that it feels more like midwinter than a summer night. My fingers, my hands, my feet, they all feel increasingly cold. The sound of passing crowds is reduced to no more than a background hum, while the sound of my shoes hitting the pavement echoes loudly, each step surging towards the person I have to catch. Forced by my chest tightening response to the cold of the night, I rest an arm over it to try and settle it down. Don't have a heart attack. Oh shit! When the airport comes into view, though, I realize this feeling as one I felt before. Now, not now. Of all times for this, please not now. I take a gulp and soldier on regardless, pushing my body as far as it will go. Sweat pours off me as I hurtle forward, my shoulders hitting someone's side and my mind suddenly floating with emotions and memories. I continue on without an apology. I have to keep moving now. If I stop, I'm not sure I could begin again. And even if I could, it would all be for naught if I'm not in time. I hit another person, then another, offering little resistance to getting bounced around. My feet feel numb, my arms are losing all. He saw, my chest forces me to hunch over awkwardly, tightening ever more. That afternoon in the snow, that time when my life irreversibly changed, images of Iwanako and that damned letter flash over and over in my mind. The first love I've lost thanks to my condition. I can't let that happen again. I don't care what happens to me anymore, I just need to see her one last time. Bro. Dude, this is fucking amazing. Hisao, come on, you got this, dude. Don't die. There. There, a sliver of yellow and white comes into view some distance down the road, her figure silhouetted by the lights emanating from the airport entrance. Lily! Lily! Lily, stop! Please, Lily! Come on, Lily, I know your hearing's not far beyond north. Gah! My view suddenly spins out of control and ends up on the ground, my body haphazardly sprawling after hitting someone and stumbling over. Before I could assess the damage, an unbelievable pain ignites my body. No! All my thoughts are blanketed as I curl up and frantically clutch at my chest. Hey, are you okay? That was a really bad fall. This pain, I can't. Arg! Arg! No! Any sharp knock could do me in. Any overexertion. I thought I could overcome my limits this once. Something's wrong with them. What's the matter, Art? Come on, Isao, you got this. The voices of those gathering around me are gradually replaced by a loud ringing in my ears. By now, I'm unable to move my head, my eyes able to turn upwards to see the mute moving over their lips. Even... Don't tell me Hisao fucking dies here. Not now. Even as I clutch my chest, I realize I can't feel my fingers anymore, nor my feet. It feels like my entire body is shutting down, starting from my extremities. With one last effort, I turn my head down the road towards the airport entrance that's casting its light over me. Lily is there behind the crowd. Her head is tilted slightly, but only just slightly. I feel my vision dimming as I try to yell out, but nothing emerges from my mouth despite my best efforts. Slowly but surely, my vision fades to black out the scene before me. So this is how it ends. No, that's not. No, this isn't how it ends. I failed. I was so close, so very close, but at the very last moment, my condition seized my chance at a new life and dragged me back. Now I'm going to die, sprawled out just meters from an airport, with a crowd of babbling people surrounding me, and with Lily leaving for Scotland just a little distance ahead. Lily. That last word extinguishes the last of my energy. The world falls into a deep, inescapable darkness as every body in my muscle in my body shuts down. This is the... I'm sorry, Lily. I was too late. What the What's going on? As I slowly open my eyes, a bright white light assaults my retinas. For minutes, I just lay where I am, mindlessly staring ahead while my scattered thoughts just coalesce in my mind, slowly waking mind. Slowly but surely, the white begins to come into focus as a bare expanse begins to be drawn across my field of vision. It's only when the light fixture comes into view that my mind clicks that this is a ceiling above me. You're alive! Slowly levering myself up, I silently absorb through all my senses the detail of the room I'm in. The smell and taste of a strong bleach hang in the air, lending the impression of a place just slightly too clean to be natural. Inoffensive pale peach colored walls, all perfectly painted without a crack, stain, or imperfection. A single framed painting hangs on the wall, perfectly straightened, like the walls. It's as boring and inoffensive as can be. My attention's grabbed by the translucent curtain waving across my vision, my eyes following it to the open window it covers. Ow! When I move my right arm to try and lift itself up and look through it, I could feel the catheter digging uncomfortably. Ugh. It's only now, too, that I can notice the cannula tubes winding around my cheeks and into my nose. After some fidgeting, I settle for just looking around the corner of the window. Beyond the thick leaves of several large trees, I can see the greenery below, backing out onto a field. A customary island of green on the outskirts of the city. Judging by the sun outside, it's noon. Of which day, though, I'm not sure. So, I'm in a hospital once again. I let a long, tired breath as I try to collect my scattered thoughts, my mind seemingly cast in a dozen directions all at once, with as many emotions running through me. After slowing lying back down, I begin to start at the beginning, why I'm here. Oh no. Origami bird. Hideaki. Falling. Lily. The silence of the private room suddenly feels overwhelming. I thought this was a good ending. So that's it. I had my chance to correct my mistake and I blew it. This can't be it. This can't be it. Whether it was I was at fault for neglecting my medication and disregarding to pace myself, or my body was for giving out so soon, it doesn't matter now. You didn't take your medication. All that matters is that, once again, I'm alone. The pastel blue pillow yields little resistance as I let myself fall back into the bed, its starchy case, along with the starchy sheets, providing little comfort. Compared to the darkness of last night's events, the bright light of the room around me is striking. All it does, though, is emphasize how otherworldly places like this are. Or arrhythmia. Arrhythmia. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. A strange word, a foreign alien one that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition, it causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. It was a miracle you're able to go on so long without anything happening, they said. And then it did. My condition had taken everything. My old school was of no importance anymore. My home was reduced to a faraway place. Both my friends and my first love simply stopped visiting after a length of time. I became cynical and embittered, distant and subdued. In my defense, no person could avoid that after such a thing happening to them, but nonetheless, I left the hospital as a very definitely changed person. Things changed. I made a new friend at Hanakoshi's name, Misha. Found a new sense of home in my dormitory, and the news and interest in science and the world around me, and I found a new direction to my life that I'd never before, but also discovered other things. The sense of isolationism in Yamako and its surrounds were not entirely unwelcome, the quiet giving a peace of mind that I might not have found elsewhere. It gave the area a feeling of being pushed out of the way, of being kept out of sight. The condition wasn't visible, my uniform was. I was still different. 17 pills a day. Jesus! My scar, though, hidden the... I could have lived with that, because there's one final thing I found, or refound after entering Yamako, which was once again snatched away before my eyes. Lily Sato was the one person I could depend on over all others, and who reciprocated the love that I felt for her, but I failed her, and only realized it all too late. The surrounds I'm in are now all too familiar, as if Yamaku was but a dream. I'm still recovering from my first major heart attack. This may be why I feel so tired. It almost feels as if I've lived the entire last few months of my life in the space of minutes. The weight of my eyelids closed my eyes, my physical and mental exhaustion letting me offer no resistance. bidding farewell to a doctor. Notice a door closing in my peripheral vision. The doctor starts reading off some notes of a clipboard held in his hand, carefully looking over the pages. I can't quite put my finger on it. I see you're awake, Mr. Nakai.
What?
I must admit this is a bit unfortunate. Your parents visited just earlier while you were asleep. I could notify them that you're awake now if you'd like. Thanks, that'll be good. I give a somewhat dazed reply, mostly likely the one he'd expect before really thinking about what I'm saying. Not a problem. If you have any questions you'd like to ask, I'd be happy to answer them. That is, unless you prefer the rest. The anesthetic's still going to be affecting you a bit, I'm afraid. Anesthetic. Of course, that must be why I felt so strange the first time I woke up. I slowly shake my head, not wanting to dislodge any papers or cause myself any more discomfort than necessary. The doctor politely pulls down his clipboard in response. I guess my main question is what exactly happened? To put it simply, unfortunately, you've had another heart attack. Well, not as severe as your first. You were very lucky it occurred so close to a hospital. After being stabilized, you were taken to the operating room. What followed was a keyhole surgery in order to insert a temporary pacemaker. All in all, the incident happened 2 days ago, with emergency treatment being carried out soon afterwards. Since then, we've kept you under close observation while you were asleep. Will I be alright? Are there any lasting problems? Compared to the procedure carried out for your first heart attack, this was relatively minor. While you will have to undergo surgery once more in a few days' time to remove the pacemaker, assuming there are no complications, there should be no lasting implications. He continues talking, the subject Perfectly hung the inoffensive painting hanging on the wall behind his shoulders. How neat and sterile the surroundings are, even including the doctor himself. My mumbling bores you. You're quite welcome to say so, Mr. Nakai. Lord knows, I lose track of myself sometimes. He gives a short chuckle at his self-deprecating joke as they grimace awkwardly, having been rather badly caught out. Huh? Oh... Well, I mean, to be fair, I know what you're going through, man. But to be fair, like, I would say from, like, viewing it from my perspective, that's a bit mean. Maybe he's just a plain guy. But then again, I do get what I do get where you're coming from. You know? I suppose he has to be this way, though, being a doctor. Die from child... Does that still happen in the modern era in Japan? Considering his disposition far from being adopted but only by people in his profession. Yeah. Tell your parents Steve woken up for you. I think that would be good, thank you. In the end, I'm alone again. Lily's gone, Akira's gone, Hanako will be traveling, and even my parents have already left the hospital. 4 pale peach walls, 1 white ceiling, and a single open window to look out towards the world outside. It's hard to think of the future where the past is crowded around you, claustrophobic in its neat, sterile, starchy, bleach-smelling grip. Looking for what to do or focus on, I content myself with sleeping the time away as if it were just another dream like Yamaku had been. White. A sterile, clean white for a sterile, clean room. My eyes open and simply stare at the ceiling for some time. It's about as interesting as a television would be mounted in its metal rack hanging off the ceiling ahead of the bed. Saw its entire use. What waited for me to wake is about as banal as it had been the first time I've ended up at the hospital. Earlier today, an attending nurse had offered to turn off the EKG speakers. I refused simply because the sound is entirely normal to me now. It's almost comforting in a way. The metronome-like regularity at least gives some feeling that time is moving, even in a place such as this. After some time of listening to its beeping while I fully awakened, though, I realized there's another sound in the room. Dwarfed by the EKG's pulses. Did Hanako visit? My mouth opens just slightly while I silently watch the tiny yellow metal drum. Wait, the tiny bumps on its surface gradually moving in and out of sight. This music box, it's the one I gave... Wait, no, that's the one you gave to Lily. The creaking of the door breaks me out of my reverie, my head and heart remaining still as my eyes turn to see who comes through. What? Long tan skirt, peach off-the-shoulder sweater, pale almost porcelain skin, blue-clouded eyes, and long yellow hair. All I could do is stare as Lily slowly walks into the room, her fingers slightly running over the wall for orientation, and my mind comes to a shuddering halt. Lily? She stops mid-stride, her entire body tensing. Lily! Lily's here! Hisao, was that you? Her voice is quiet and pensive, echoing her expression. I thought you were... Lily takes one tentative step forward, then another, as if she were holding herself back. My control over her composure is for naught, and she finally rushes over to where I lay as the last of her resistance falls. I'm slightly taken aback when she grabs hold of me, hunching over as tears begin to fall from her cheeks. Where's the stuff in his nose and stuff? As tears begin to fall from her cheeks since only minutes ago, I thought she was on the other side of the world. After moments of hesitation, I rest my right hand on her soft shoulder. Hisao. Lily's body trembles as her tears blot the pale green sheets, her emotions flooding through her carefully maintained exterior. With her face now closer and made easier to see her for her pale skin being lit by the sunlight from the window, I notice her cheeks being redder than they should be. It's okay, Lily. You don't need to... She rights herself quickly, her crying forcefully stifled with both sadness and stubbornness remaining in her moistened eyes. Her prideful nature, always having something to contend with, takes me off guard. Stop telling me not to worry about you, Hisao. Just this once, let me cry. I'm caught speechless. She waits for a response, but her composure breaks again after a handful of seconds. I swallow hard to try and settle my own emotions while she weeps onto my bed, a strange mixture of relief and depression welling up. Lily's here. She's really here. If I couldn't feel the skin under my hand, I'd hardly believe my own eyes. My efforts weren't for nothing. My body's attempt to take away everything that was important to me, once again, has been foiled. But now, I don't feel as happy about it as I thought I would. Seeing her like this, crying over me, this is the one thing I want to avoid since coming to love her. No, even since leaving the hospital. I'm sorry, Lily. It's my fault I'm here. I shouldn't have tried to push myself so far. I give a self-deprecating snort. After months of keeping myself together so nobody would worry over me, I went and did something like this. I guess I'm pretty dumb. With a couple of sniffs and a long breath, Lily manages to pull herself together and calm down a little. Despite her red cheeks, moist eyes, and the lines of her tears visible, she delicately wears that weak smile she seemed to so often give. You needn't blame yourself. I heard later that it happened as you were running down the road after me, right? Still, she wipes her eye with the back of her hand, returning more to her old self as the rush of emotions wears off. Why'd you run after me, Hisao? I moved to respond, but I noticed her face tightening. Even after I'd left goodbye and I'd left Yamako Academy, she takes a moment to steady herself, her emotions almost bubbling up once again. I just want to say that I'm sorry. Sorry? The times I wasn't there when you needed me. Until now, I thought just being there would be enough. I only needed you by my side to make any day feel better. Even if my body may be like this, I want to help you, Lily. To be there when you need someone. But you always were there, Hisao. Why'd you want to go to Scotland, Lily? Why? I told you before, because Akira was going, because my family summons to their home. Why didn't you say that you wanted to go? I'm not stubborn often, but this one time I think I need to be. I want you to stay here, Lily. I want you to stay where everyone you know lives, where all your dreams and ambitions were made. If you chose to stay, I'll never leave your side. I won't let you lose another person. When I had my heart attack, I was snatched away from everyone and everywhere I knew. You showed me a new life after I came to Yamako. I lost my past, but you showed me a future. It's true that I haven't always been for the... I'm unreliable. Sometimes I lied. I thought I'd come to understand you when I hadn't even understood myself. Be that as it may, I want to give you a future as well. I want to be there for you, to share both your burden and your happiness, just like I promised back in Hokkaido. I want you to trust me. I know I've had problems coming to put my trust in you after losing so many people I'd known after my heart attack, but that's how I know that being unable to trust others can feel awful. That's why I can't watch you throw everything away like this. I never want you to go through what I did. I would do anything to stop that. You can be quite steadfast when you want to be, don't you? As I said, it isn't often. My weak smile drops though, as the ivy in my arm digs in a little. It's a harsh reminder of the tether to my condition. Lily's face tenses as I let out a small gasp of pain, immediately making me wish I'd stifled it better. All I could do is sigh in defeat. I try not to let anyone worry over me the entire time since I left the hospital, but I can't even stop the one person I love most from crying over me. Even as I might finally put my feelings into words, I feel pretty useless with a body like this. Every time I try to reach towards something, it was just snatched away, and even now things have only turned out for the better due to luck. I guess that's something that I should apologize for. All I could ever do is make you worry. Even now, there's a very little chance I'll live anywhere near a full life. The feeling of Lily's warm, soft hand moving over my left cheek makes me lift my head up, her smile gentle and warm as she touches me. I think that is something very natural for you to say. You're always so sincere and self-conscious. You're so reserved and mild-mannered and patient to a fault with Hanako. You're curious about everything and everyone. When I said I missed you with my family, I wasn't lying or exaggerating. The thought of you was never far from my mind and helped me through that time. That's why I was so confused about what to do when my family summoned me. Even after I thought I'd made my decision, you tried your hardest to challenge me about it. I didn't confess you out of pity or believing you are somehow different from what you are. I confessed because I never want to lose you and want you to always be a part of my life no matter what might change. You are a very beautiful person, Hisao. Your heart changes none of that, so please don't apologize for yourself anymore. For a long time, silence reigns in the room. I'm not sure what this newly born feeling inside of me is, but it pales into insignificance as I wordly gaze at Lily's smiling face, warm and gentle as it always has been. It's only as her thumbs cross my cheek, wiping away the simple drop of moisture, that I realize this is all I've ever wanted. For what feels like the first time, I give her an earnest, wild smile. As Lily feels it against her palm, she returns the gesture. More time passes before either of us say the word, neither of us needing to speech to communicate our feelings to each other. I know I can't promise you that I'll always be around or that we'll be together forever. With some difficulty, I slowly lift my hand, placing it atop her pale shoulder. But I think I could at least take you to next year's Tatabana festivals to make up for making you miss this year's. Hey, that's not your fault. Lily's expression is one of surprise, although I can't say I blame her. You remembered that. I got a pretty good memory, sometimes. She raises her head a little and takes her hand from my cheek, giving a small, amused giggle. I smile absent-mindedly at how earnest it is, almost girlish in its lightness. Still smiling warming, she collects herself and stands upright with the hands resting on my chest. It feels like I'm seeing her for the first time. The sun in the windows glowing behind her, just as it did when I first walked into that room where she was drinking tea. Very well then. Shall we make it a promise between the both of us to go to the next year's Tanabata together? Even if she can't see me doing so, I nod approvingly. I promise. I promise. Yo! I like that. I like that. I really like that. I think this is the best one yet. This is the best one yet. Okay. I think this is the best. I think this is the best route. This is the. Yo. Oh my god. Yep. This is the best route. This is. Number 3, that's the one that made it. Man. Man. Oh my god. That was fucking peak. Oh my god. That was good. That was... Akira, Lily, and I silently sit on the grassy embankment. It's almost as if the people making this VN knew that this is the best ending and gave it an after credits scene. None of the others had this. Akira, Lily, and I sit silently on the grassy embankment high above the local town, the breeze gently blowing through the cloudless sky. We may be just a few minutes walk from town on a hill just outside its limits, but the view is entirely unexpected. Lily sits beside me, her eyes closed as a gentle breeze flows through her hair. This is a nice area, Kisa. Yeah, I never knew there was a place like this anywhere near Yamaku. And I had to be the one to find it, of course. Akira's grin is genuine, but her tone is slightly different from her usual carefree nature. It's good that you're out of the hospital, though, Hisao. Nobody's more glad than I am. I can't stand hospitals. So, you two going back to school tomorrow? Wait, what? Are you staying? Yep. Akira chuckles in amusement before looking back out of the town below, the trees between the buildings swaying in the wind. Pity we couldn't go to the north for the summer holidays or get to Tanabata. I wouldn't worry, there's always next time. You'll be graduating before next summer vacation, won't ya? Yeah, there'll still be college after that, mind. Going to the same one? Likely, we both have high enough scores to meet the entry requirements. You sound so sure. Don't worry, you're better than I am in most subjects. I guess we'll work it out in due time. That's the way, just enjoy yourselves in Yamaku while you're there. Lily gives a sad sigh at the distinction made between Akira and the two of us. Do you really need to go back to Scotland? Yeah, the folks are already out for my blood as it is. You weren't meant to stay this long. She gives her trademark wide grin. Can you see what I see? Reach Lily's good ending. Man, I'm so glad I got this. Setting my boyfriend up with a passport took some... Yo, nice! You got him too? You're taking him with you? Just for a little while at first. He's a surprisingly worldly guy, so I think he'll do fine. Akira gives an amused snort. If our father had his way, I'd have gone a long time ago. I just couldn't pass up an excuse to stay with my favorite little sister a little while longer, though. She leans right and gives Lily a tight, playful hug, cheering her up considerably. It's nice to be with you one last time, though. For what it's worth, I'm in the same boat. Yeah, thanks to you too. I'll try to come back sometime, don't worry. It's a shame that the business keeps you so busy. The place won't run itself, I'm afraid. I think it's gonna have to be the same over there. Considering that, I better get going. Have fun over there, Akira. Haha, will do. With a slight grunt, she lifts herself with her hands and stands up, dusting herself off as she does so. Well, I'd better be off. The plane won't wait for me after all. She's a certain unusual wistfulness in the tone of her voice, her eyes firmly planted on her sister. I'll be okay, Akira. Yeah, I know. Come now, it isn't that bad. You'll be able to see us again soon. It is strange to have Lily reassuring a doubting Akira for once. She really has changed. Goodbye, Akira. Bye. For a second, the dark-clad figure looks down at the both of us, smiling widely. Perhaps more widely than I'd ever seen her do before. She lets out a long, slightly wavering breath to steady herself before leaving, but eventually slips her hand in her pocket and turns on her heel. And with that, she walks away, one hand held high in the air as she goes. See you later, you two. A jazz tune with no beat, no melody, or direction to the very end. After a few moments of sitting silently, Lily and I pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off. Turning towards her with a broad smile, I hold out my hand. Shall we be off then? She takes my hand in hers with a gentle nod and smile as beautiful and warm as ever. Indeed we shall, Hisao. Okay, as we set off towards the school, that wonderful smile engraves itself onto my memory. We get two ending CGs, that wonderful smile that we both share. Our pasts may be scattered and at times overshadowed by sadness, but they're also an irrevocable part of our lives and personalities. Even if I could change a single thing, I wouldn't, because my past is what led me here. That's why, even with all that's happened to us before, and all that may well befall us together, we'll keep walking forwards. Forwards towards the future. Our future. Man, a fucking after credits scene. They gave us a fucking after credits scene. How's the Rin route gonna top this now? Oh, I think we may have peaked here. That has to be my favorite route. That has to be my favorite route. No joke, that has to be my favorite route. That, oh my god. That's the canon route as far as I'm concerned. This is canon, folks. This is canon. This is the fucking canon route. This is... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. I'm suddenly feeling inspired to write my story. I should go do that right now. And okay. Ah. I hope you all enjoyed that stream, folks. I hope you all like Lily because she is my favorite. Oh my god. If you did, please leave a like, a subscribe, and a comment down below if you haven't done so. And make sure to smash that bell, because it really helps out the channel, and I would like to get this as big as possible. Because, you know, wink wink, big dreams, stuff like that. God, that's so fucking peak. Lily is best girl. Lily is actually best girl. Oh my god. Well, sky's up, and you guys are awesome. I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye. That is the best route. That is actually the best route. That was art.